Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Nurse Naya here. If you're new to my channel, make sure you follow me on Instagram at nursenaya.rn. And if you're here after my welcome video, which is the only other video I have, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about how I prepare for the NCLEX. Yeah, the NCLEX. I know it's scary, but I promise you, you'll get through it. Whether it takes you 1, 2, 3, 4 tries, you get through it. At the end of the day, you still have your license just like the rest of us. So the NCLEX is basically this nationwide exam that you have to take after post-nursing school in order to get your license. And yeah, basically that's it. It's like the bar for lawyers. I think that's the right comparison that I can make. I think. But yeah, there's more. So all of nursing school is basically preparing you for this one big exam. That's really what nursing is. Also, in addition to preparing you for the nursing field, it's also to prepare you for this test. So our quizzes are in NCLEX style. Our tests are in NCLEX style. Our practicals are in NCLEX style. Everything is in NCLEX style, and NCLEX style questions are the devil. NCLEX does this thing called select alls, and what that means is there's like, you know, your ABCD list of questions, well, list of answers, and it can be more than one. So it's a select all that applies. And if you don't select all that applies, you get the answer wrong. So it can be two answers for one question, or 3 answers for one question, or whatever, how many answers for one question. If you don't pick all of them, you get the question wrong. So basically, I just want to tell you guys about my story in terms of preparing for the NCLEX. Hopefully you guys got a little better understand of what the NCLEX is, what it kind of consists of, and how nerve-wracking it can be. So if you see your friends flipping out about it, that's exactly why, because it's such a tricky test that you just never know what to expect. And people have their different theories on how to pass, how you know if you passed, and this other thing, but at the end of the day, you're still just a nervous wreck no matter what. No matter how much you think you know, you're still a nervous wreck. So to prepare not my NCLEX, but to prepare for the NCLEX, I used UWorld. I know a lot of my friends use Kaplan, or they just studied on their own. I needed a Q bank, so I went with UWorld because Kaplan was just way out of my price range. I couldn't afford it. So, and I didn't really want to ask my parents for the money either, so I chose to go with UWorld, which was a lot cheaper, and I did a 30-day subscription for it. I did UWorld, and I bought it right after I scheduled my test. So I don't know what day of the week June 21st was 2 years ago, but yeah, I decided to take it on June 21st because I felt like it was a fair amount of time for me to prepare. I think I can't remember, I think it was like 3 weeks. I was almost a month away from June 21st when I scheduled my test. So I was like, you know what? I have more than enough time to prepare. I'll be fine. Did I take it June 21st or July? June? It was July. Oh my god, I'm lying to you guys. I took my test July 21st. That's when I got my license. Now, as soon as I scheduled it, I started studying. And it was a little bit after my birthday that I really sat down and began to study, which my birthday is like, I think it was like 2 weeks, that's like 2 weeks before. Yeah, my birthday was like about like 2 weeks before, and I kid you not, I really hit hard after my birthday. So every day I would wake up at like 8 a.m., eat, then sit at my dining room table and stare at my laptop and do questions all day until about 4 p.m. And obviously I would take bathroom breaks, eat in between, you know, chill out every now and then. But honestly, I was really going hard at those questions because I said, you know what? This is how I study. I feel like this is what's best for me. And I just shut out everyone else. Everyone in that meantime, because I took my test really late. July is fairly late for taking your NCLEX. Honestly, take it whenever you feel comfortable. You see your friends passing and all this other stuff, which I saw, and that added to my anxiety as well, because all my friends are like, I passed in 75. I passed. I took my test. I scheduled my test. I passed in 75. And I'm like, I'm very happy for you. but I'm still studying for mine. And you're so happy for them and they want to celebrate, but then it's like you don't feel like you should be celebrating because then it's taking you away from studying, and it's like you haven't taken your test yet. So everything just makes you feel bad because it's this big bubble of anxiety that covers you when you're preparing. Don't let that happen to you. And saying that, like I said, I got up at 8, went to bed at put the laptop to bed around 4 o'clock because I just couldn't stare at my computer anymore after that. And then even while like lying down, I'm still thinking about the NCLEX up until the day that I took it. So I really focused on pharmacology, I would say, because in my head I'm like, obviously they're going to be talking about a lot of farm stuff. I'm really not good in it. That was my weakest point, med surg and pharmacology. After I put it to rest, it still was on my mind, and I was like, you know what, I just want to take this test already. I just wanted to be out of the way, and I decided to have a conversation with my father because he was studying for another exam as well at the time. And I said, you know what, I just need a break. I just need to talk to someone else. And he broke it down to me. He says, listen, and my dad calls me Mama. He goes, Mama, you know, at the end of the day, it's God's test. And if it's in your will to be a nurse, then you will be a nurse by the end of that test. And I said, you know what? You're right. And that absolutely relaxed me completely. I became more confident in myself. I became more confident in my study habits. I became more confident that God was just going to take the wheel for real in terms of my test. And he did, man. And you know what? Honestly, my whole nursing school experience is a testimony to my faith because God tested me a few times to see if the love was real, and I hope that he knows that it is, because every turn, no matter if it was a joyous turn, no matter if it was the horrible turn that I took in terms of the nursing program or this whole process, I always thanked him no matter what. And the NCLEX was my final. And I'm glad that was my final testimony, because honestly I was just tired of it. I was tired of being dragged through the dirt, God, and he finally brought me up in some light. So like I said, once I prayed about it and once I relaxed myself, I said, you know what, Naya, just get it done. And that's what I did. So the night before the test, I just chose to relax. I obviously studied a little bit in the morning. I took a few tests on the areas I wasn't as strong in, because UWorld also gives you a percentage of what you're really good in and what you're not and what you should focus on. So that also helps because you really get to see your weak points. And I reviewed over that, and then the rest of the day I just chilled out. The night before the test, I went to sleep fairly early the night before the test, probably like 9 o'clock ish. And I didn't fall asleep at 9, but I did lay in the bed around 9 o'clock just to rest. And I prayed. In my prayer, I included what my dad said: if it's in my will to be a registered nurse, by tomorrow, at the end of that test, I will be. And I just asked him to relax me. That was my most important thing, because I had failed a few tests in college because I was so anxious. And at my program, after each test, we went over the answers. And what is the most famous line? Oh my God, I chose that answer, but I changed it. I didn't want any of that on the NCLEX because this was like over $400 test, and I could not do that to myself. So I said, look, listen, honey, you better not psych yourself out tomorrow. You better get it done the first time. Don't change your answers. Be confident. Believe in yourself. And that's what I thought I did. But so I said, you know, I prayed that prayer, and I just asked God to keep me relaxed, keep me focused, and just let my anxiety just sit in the back seat tomorrow while I take the test, because honestly, I just don't have time for it. I really don't. I don't want to be in that test longer than I have to. All my friends said they passed the 75. I can do it too. I can do it too. So that's what I went into it thinking. And I fell asleep. I woke up the next morning. I think I arrived to my test about 2 hours early or an hour early, and I just sat in my car and I reviewed some more. So some people, the way they prepare is they review. I'm that kind of person. You can prepare by doing the questions. You can prepare by just focusing on what you're weak in. You can prepare by not preparing at all, which I wouldn't recommend. But like I said, for me, I did decide to just run over a few things that I was weak in, because in addition to getting UWorld on the computer, you also had it on your phone. So whenever I was out, I was still doing questions. Even if I was out with like my family and stuff like that, I was sneaking on my phone doing questions. So that was that. And I sat in my car, well, my dad's car, because I didn't have a car at the time. And I prayed again. And I said, Lord, this is your test. And if it's in my will to be a nurse at the end of this test, I pray that I am. I've prepared, and I don't know what else to do if I don't pass. So I pray that you keep me calm and you allow me to do the best that I can. I pray you keep me focused, and I pray you let me breathe and just be relaxed and just bring me through it. And he did. So I'm in the test, I'm taking it, and I'm like, oh man, I'm stressed out. So I pray again. God, please just keep me calm. Just keep me calm. Just keep me calm. I'm breathing like, I know the people next to me were getting so annoyed with my sighing. And it's something I even do to like this day. I sigh to relax myself. So I'm just like, click, click, click. And I got not one med calculation. Can we talk about that? Because I love med calculation. That's probably why I didn't get it. So I didn't get one med calc question, and I'm taking it. So I get to 75, and then I go to 76, and I'm like, all my dreams just got crushed. And when I got to that, so I'm like, all right, whatever. I didn't pass the 75, whatever. At least I didn't fail. I know if I'm still in the running, if I'm still getting questions, I'm still in the running. So I'm clicking, I get to 80. I'm like, test still ain't shut off yet. So I go, all right, get to 100. I'm like, still I'm getting questions, and then I get to 200, and I'm like, oh my God. And like, when you take the NCLEX, you can get breaks, but I wasn't playing that. So I sat down for 4 hours straight and took that test. And I got all 265 questions. You want to talk about stress? That's stressful, because you don't know if you passed, you don't know if you failed, you don't know what to think, honestly, at that point. And I said, you know what? At this point, it is what it is. If I pass, I pass. If I don't, I don't. I just take it again. I don't know how else I would prepare, because I felt like I prepared well enough, but I guess not, because I got all 265 questions. So I said, you know what? It is what it is. Whatever. So I felt a sense of embarrassment after I took the test and got all questions, because all of my friends passed in 75, and I wasn't too excited about telling them that I got all questions, because then I felt like it made me inferior. But now I think that's so stupid, because my friends, they're not like that. I don't have friends like that would just be like, you got all questions, you're stupid. But that's how I felt, because I was just so insecure. Like in nursing school, I hadn't been the greatest student. I didn't always get the best grades, and I was surrounded by people who did. So like I always felt like that. But that's an insecurity that I way got over after this test. So yeah, so I didn't tell my friends about it. I didn't say anything. They just, obviously my girls, which are a few of my close friends from back at school, 3 of my sisters, I told them, and I had been speaking with them. They aren't nurses, and they were like, you know what, like, it is what it is. As long as you know, you're done with it, you got through it, that's the most important part, and we just wait till you get your results. Now, there's a few ways for you to find out if you pass the NCLEX right after you take it. You can either go online and search up your name, and it'll tell you your license number, and if you have a license number there, then you're a nurse. Congratulations. There's I think there was another way, if you like try to apply again and it didn't let you, that showed you that you passed or something like that. I said, you know what, I'm not wasting any time or money. I'm gonna wait the 48 hours and just wait it out. So those 2 days, I'm like, oh man, I want to find out if I pass. I want to find out if I pass. And I wasn't able to find out until at 12 p.m. after the 48 hours. So I remember the day like it was yesterday. My mother was doing my hair in the kitchen, so then my mom's like, is it out yet? Is it out yet? She was more nervous than me. And I said, I don't know, like I didn't check yet. And she's like, how could you not have checked? You need to find out. And I'm like, okay. So I go on my phone, I go to the website, and I pay the $8, I think it is, and I handed my phone immediately to my brother. I put my card information in, and I handed my phone to my brother, and he clicked on it. He goes, yeah, and I felt my legs get weak. I felt my head explode, and honestly, I dropped to the floor, and I just thank God so much for him allowing me to pass that test and to become a nurse. And I was just ecstatic. And honestly, after the first thing I did, once my mom was done with my hair, I fell asleep. I'll never forget that moment. That right there, that's joy. And once you guys pass the first time, no matter if it's in 75 or 265 or whatever the case may be, you'll feel pure joy, because you know you did it for yourself. You did it for the people who were supporting you, and you did it for everybody who said that you couldn't, and everyone who doubted you, and all the professors that tried to wing you out or make you seem like you couldn't make it, or told you to give up. You did it for that moment right there. And honestly, it was the most rewarding thing, because I felt so validated, and I felt like, you know what, even though I didn't prepare the way everyone else did, even though I didn't pass as soon as everyone else did. You hear all these horror stories because people are like, I failed in 75, I passed in 75, I did this, that. It doesn't matter. Focus on yourself. And I did, and in that moment I felt proud of myself, and that was the most important thing. And all I wanted to do was sleep. I didn't want to celebrate. I didn't want to go out for drinks. I didn't want to do nothing else but sleep. And I did that, and I woke up the next day like, man, I'm a nurse, so now I have to find a job. So honestly, like I said, my whole spiel after this is, don't allow anxiety to cripple you. It's okay to be anxious. It's okay to be nervous. It's normal. It'll happen. And if it doesn't, great for you, honestly, because I wish I had known how much I had crippled myself being anxious throughout college. And when it came down to this test, I learned that lesson, and it wasn't too late, because it happened at the right time. I passed the big test, and that's all that mattered. It doesn't matter how you pass it, as long as you do. And that's my NCLEX story. So for all you guys preparing for the NCLEX, it's okay. You guys are gonna be fine. If you don't pass the first time, it's okay. You take it again. You just keep preparing. You keep trying. If you want to be a nurse, and it's in your will to be a nurse, you will. I promise you it'll happen for you if you're passionate about it. If this is what your dream is, it'll happen for you. And as long as you're doing it for the right reasons, it'll happen for you. So for all my LPNs, all my RNs out there, good luck. And I pray that all goes well for you guys as you're preparing and as you're taking. I hope you guys all pass the first time, because that test is expensive, and it's one hell of a test, and it's just so nerve-wracking. I just pray that you guys do well, and I'm wishing you all the luck.